One, I am super excited to be here with Nick. It's going to be an amazing journey. This guy is someone that I actually really admire. I don't think I ever say that to you actually, because I didn't want to blow your head. So,
Yeah,
which can happen, right? So,
absolutely, especially with
right.
me.
So Nick went through a process of, it was almost like a year. I believe we did a program for a year, almost a year. And I think his journey has a lot to teach us about not only the humbleness of the journey, where we come from, the ups and downs of the journey, and then the aftermath, right? What happens after, and the period of integration that is required for us to let the process kind of come to a grounded place in time where we can feel the shift of who we were and who we are. So I believe that you finished your program a few months back, right? What do you remember when you was?
It's been a few months now, I think.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself from your perspective. Like, who is Nick? Who are you?
Okay, so my name is Nick, and I'm a combat veteran who struggles with different things, including childhood trauma with PTSD from childhood, and obviously PTSD from the combat, and who has also struggled with addiction throughout my life. You want me to go into how I've been helped?
Say that again, Nick.
So
Go ahead.
so I was just asking, do you want me to go into the journey? Do you want me to begin
Oh, sure, sure.
explaining?
I know we have limited time, so let's jump
Okay,
in.
yeah. All right, cool. So when I first met you, Victoria, as you know, I felt that I was in a stuck place. I was doing all the right things that I thought that I could possibly do to make
Hold on, you just froze again.
this.
There, you're back now.
Am I back? Okay. Sorry about that. But so how far did we get there?
So
So
let's,
did you
yeah, you froze up
go
again.
ahead?
So let's start from the.
Oh
You
my
said that
goodness.
you were already in the process of like, okay, I have to do something about life. This is not the way life needs to be, right?
Yes. So I was miserable. I could not hold a relationship. I could not find a decent job. It was almost like I had what society would like to say is bad luck. Like I just could not, no matter how hard I tried or how much effort I put into something, things just wasn't, opportunities was not presenting themselves, nor was
Mm,
I able to sustain any type of healthy mental health stability. Place, if you will. I just couldn't. I didn't feel stable in anything. I was all over the place, kind of like my
mhm.
conference. But oh, after our treatment, or during our treatment, slowly I started to realize how things. I didn't necessarily understand them at first, but as we spoke about them, I learned a little more and a little more as we went. And then after completing I think it was an 8-month program we did, maybe a year. After completing it, and even still to this day, as I told you a while ago, I'm starting to have more enlightenment. I'm starting to understand more. But one of the things I want to point out to explain, before I had met you, 6 months before I met you, I was living in a tent in Pensacola, Florida, in a uh, in a campground that was secluded, right, secluded from the world, and because I couldn't get nothing together. After meeting with you and after having the therapy that we've done, I've had so many opportunities. Now I just got done buying my first house. I've landed another job, which puts me over 6 figures a year. It helps me sustain the lifestyle that I want to live.
That's beautiful.
Um, I've had, you know, I'm sorry, I get a little emotional. My kids are back in my life.
Oh, wow.
So
That's beautiful.
it's just so much I can't even put into words. A lot of it. It's it's like there's this line that's connected between us and our source that needed to be cleaned because of the fact that it got clogged up from traumatic events from childhood, not just my traumatic events, but being raised by a single mother and poverty. Just poverty alone, it's like a gummy situation. It's like a little bit of stuff just sticks to you as you're traveling through life. And I
Yeah.
felt like I needed all the help I could get in removing some of this because it was just weighing me down. And I think that that's the first thing that you did was you went straight to work on the core. And I believe from the inside out, you've given me a way to connect with source again in a clear way. Like it's more resourceful. Now when I get overwhelmed or I can sit down and I can go back to breathing, right? And I can just breathe and I can
It's beautiful.
think, speak to source when before I felt like I had to have an interpreter. I had to go another route because everything was so clogged. I could pray all I wanted to, but I would
Mhm.
never know if it was making any kind of connection due to the fact of all the sticky, traumatic stuff that I was living with that I could not let go of.
Yeah, that's beautiful,
And I
Nick. I'm
think
so
with you in the therapy, I think that that's the only thing that gave me the break, which in my opinion, has saved my life.
Mm. What was the most challenging? And by the way, I'm super, super beyond words, like tears coming, and I'm like, hold them because having the kids back in your life, it was something that I always was hoping for, right? Even though at one point it felt like there is no way that this is eventually magically is going to work. So I'm really happy to hear that. During that process, what was the most challenging aspect of going through the sessions for you?
Um, the most challenging for me was paying attention to the work that needed to be done. Um, keeping from the distractions. Being able to shake off the distraction and pay attention to the things that needed to be worked on. That was difficult for me because
Mhm.
entering into the medicine is a freedom for me. And I think that I took a little bit of advantage of that at first because it was like I was able to relieve myself from this life, and what that consists of. And unfortunately, you can't do. You got to face that are causing these difficulties, if you will.
Right. What would you say to someone that is thinking about navigating into this deep process? It doesn't have to be with me, but just in general, like what are the main things that you will share with someone to prepare for this type of journey?
Um, so I'm an overthinker. So what I would say is, uh, the most important key is to let go. Um, let go of control. Don't try to. There's no sense in trying to control. I was communicating with me through dreams and situations that were occurring in life. It would bring. Now, looking back, I can see that that's what was happening. And I would say just follow your intuition, follow your gut, trust the process, let go. And even if you don't understand it first, just be patient, continue to talk about it. It's the important part. Don't get me wrong, the ceremony is amazing, but the integration is where it all comes together. And
Right.
it's very important. But I would say it's very important, honestly, and I don't mean to, I'm not trying to blow up your ego, but you an ability that was able to help me identify the things that I didn't understand. And I have a hard time finding people to communicate in a way to me to help me understand different things. So I strongly suggest that they go through you, because you do have a unique ability about you to adapt to the person and help them. Maybe at first, when we first met, we may have not have spoke on the same terms or same type of platform, but by the time we got to 2 or 3, you had already figured it out and came up with a way and a plan to help me through the process to where I understood and in a way that it was made it most helpful. Because if not, I think it would have been a waste of money. I'd have got lost in the sauce.
Well, there is no there is no easy way to really, so we are so complicated and so simple at the same time, right? Like all the complexity that in our minds, right? And navigating through that definitely takes time for us to even know what is it that we're really working for. So when somebody says, I'm thinking about doing something like this, but they are not really, maybe they're putting it off, what would you say to someone like that? Like they're dealing with all this complexity. They might be feeling, what you said, dealing with additions, dealing with things, dealing with programming, beliefs, and so much junk, like you said, like the line was clogged, right? And we put it off because we think maybe it'll get better just by itself, right? Maybe if I just have more faith. So what will you say to someone like that? That is putting off.
Forget everything you ever.
Go ahead.
So I would say, and I'm originally from Alabama, so I was raised up in a different type of environment when it came to my spirituality and religion. So at first, for me, the scaredness, the fear of going into there is always that idea of going into something that's going to go against my God, right? And the very first thing that I would say to that is forget everything that you've ever been taught. And when you're tired enough, or you've hurt enough, or you're ready enough, when you're willing to do whatever it takes to change your life, honestly, I believe you will. I don't have a lot of tact when I communicate, but one of the things that I'm a military man. You don't like the way life is, make it different, change it. And the only way to do so is step outside your comfort zone. It says that in every religion I've ever researched, or every spirituality, anything I've ever looked into, every one of them, I've always been very specific when they say you got to step outside your comfort zone. If you're doing the same things in life, you're going to get the same results.
Yeah.
So if you expect change, nothing changes until something changes.
Yeah. So anything else that you want to share with those that are listening and connecting with your energy through this video? What will you say was the most important thing for you that was going to give you an idea? Okay, I am actually doing this properly or successfully or the right way.
So, I guess I would explain that patience, understand that it's not going to happen overnight. I'm 46 years old, so it took me 46 years and who knows how many lives before this to get this fed up and this upset with the lifestyle that I was having to live. But I guess I would just suggest them to, if they're calling you, and you'll know, because I was searching for a long time, or I thought I was, when you found me, or I found you just miraculously by somebody else. I would say that just go for it. If what you're doing right now is not making you happy, then I promise you, if that's what you're looking for, a change of perspective, this is going to do that for you by, if nothing else, it'll definitely change the way you perceive life. And just that in its own self will change the way that reality presents itself in front of your eyes. But I just say, the sooner the better.
Thank you. Anything else you want to share before we end today's video?
No, I think that's it's been amazing. But I wanted to I can't emphasize enough on how much I appreciate you, and I wanted you to understand that I was very conscious of how you had to adapt, if you will, because of the lack of the intellect, maybe, or my southern drawl, maybe, I don't know. But I was very I appreciate very much the effort that you put in to make sure that you could communicate with me on a level that I could understand. And you never gave up on me. You continued to. We figured it out. And like I said, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have what I have today. And I'm very grateful.
There are limitations to this way of communication, but I honestly, I didn't see those as a limitation, but as a challenge to learn to communicate with someone that was coming from a completely different reality than me, right? And so there is a lot of teaching and humbleness and learning, right? Like learning really to hear at the soul level, not just based on what we say here, which is, it was a magical experience each and every time, because you had the trust in me, someone that you basically didn't even know, but the trust allowed for a communication that was magical. There was no need for words, is what I'm saying. So it really allowed for a conversation that didn't require human language. And that is,
I would 100% agree with that.
right. And that requires a level of trust that sometimes when we are going through the deeper aspects of the healing process that you went through, there is no language involved. It's only soul to soul language, communication through telepathy. And the language will take away from a lot of things that we had to do, because it's not comprehensible to the rational mind. So what you perceived as an initial limitation was actually a really good positive quality between us, to be able to communicate at that very deep soul level. So thank you. All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
If there's nothing else,
I look forward to starting in some more therapy with you in the near future. Like I told you, I just bought my first house, so doing a lot of things around the house, and I've gotten to a position now that I think I'm ready to start getting back involved. So I'm looking forward to that day.
that's beautiful. All right, so I'm going to stop the video here for now, and I'll see you all on the next one. Thank you.